out here, hopefully, and have a good game here tonight.
Take a look at your Leesburg Lightning lineup as head coach by Rich Billings, assistant coach by his father, Rich Billings Sr., and also Mark Colon, the assistant coach. Tyler June bats lead off, then it's Gabriel Santiago. Austin Burgley will bat third, 1, 2, 3. Then it's Michael Furry, Brooks Bryan, and Logan Chapman go middle of the order. Kate Sadler will bat seventh. Micah New bats eighth. Drew Stubbs bats ninth. That's catcher. And batting 10th is Hector Mangual for the Leesburg Lightning. And on the mound, we talked about it, is the UCF product. That is Will Melby on the mound for Sanford River Rats. He'll make overall his 5th appearance of the year. Pitched this past Saturday against Winter Park. Gave up a couple of runs and looking to do something here and try to get back in the win column tonight. That game, though, on Saturday was suspended due to rain. So in the meantime, that's not going to count to anything yet on his line. But in the meantime, he's technically making his 4th start of the year rather than his 5th start.
Yeah, that can be a little bit, like we said, with the mental stuff. Coming back off those rain delays and those kind of obscure schedules can be another thing that these pitchers battle mentally, especially in Florida, who's ridden with rain during the summer. So interesting to see if he can adjust and maybe get back in the win column here tonight for Sanford, make that adjustment.
Take a look at your Sanford defense tonight. A really good defensive placement in left field is Nelson Taylor in center. The Mississippi State product Connor Hyzak in right field Jaquan Smith around the diamond, third base Stuart Puckett. At shortstop is Jaden Ward.
Not working.
We don't have
I don't like to do that. Yeah, we're good.
Let's roll it then. Honestly. We can turn this up. That doesn't matter. Okay, cool.
I'll confuse.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's what's not working. Nothing's working right now.
I found someone's debit card. Can you announce his name to come and get
Yes.
his card?
Yeah, thank you.
Apologize for technical difficulties. We're back on the air. Getting set for baseball from Sanford. River Rats and the Lightning. Game 1 of 3 tonight. Here from historic Sanford Memorial Stadium. As Tyler Lejeune gets things going. First pitch on the corner. Strike number 1 to Lejeune. You're on a gorgeous Thursday night. Last time out, Sanford played here at this ballpark nearly 2 weeks ago, back on June 16th. Swing and a miss there. Heavy cut by Lejeune, and Melby's ahead 0-2.
Yeah, Lejeune's was the hero the other night against Winter Garden. In that matchup, the Lightning trailed 4-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Lejeune hit a 2-out grand slam to ended up being the game winner there in the bottom of the 7th inning, and it was his first home run of his collegiate career, both summer ball and with Northwest Florida State. So it's a pretty special moment, and just this Lightning team has found a way to win over these last 10 games or so.
The 1-2 pitch on the corner outside. Lejeune did have a hit against the Land in that Sunday doubleheader, which you guys swept the Suns back at Leesburg.
Yeah, he's been hitting the ball really well. Came off an injury early in the season, sprained his ankle and sat out about 2 weeks. Came back and a little bit rusty at first, as would be expected, but he's really found his groove here lately in the leadoff spot for the Lightning.
Over on the year, Lejeune hitting .280, a home run, 6 RBIs. Now works back a full count after starting out the count 0-2. Here comes the offering. Outside ball 4, so Lejeune works a nice at bat. A leadoff walk to the Lightning's extra hitter tonight. Here comes Gabriel Santiago.
Yeah, Lejeune, just typical leadoff hitter there. Really got at bat, took some good pitches, had a good approach. He's not going to be a guy that swings at many bad pitches outside the zone, so definitely good at bat by him here to start the ball game, get a base runner on for Leesburg.
So a runner on. Here comes Santiago, the second baseman at Coker College. 1 for 6 against the Land in the doubleheader. He had an even better series against Sanford earlier in June. Was 6 for 10 with 2 stolen bases, a couple of walks, and RBI.
Yeah, and I think the main thing about Santiago is his speed. That's the thing that stands out on the stat sheet more than anything. It's why he's batting second here in the lineup to kind of stay out of those double plays. But 17 stolen bases already on the season for him. And this is a Lightning team that likes to steal bases. That's their calling card. That's how they create offense even without hits. 57 already on the season through 18 games for the Lightning this season. There goes Lejeune.
And Lejeune to second base. Ball trickles into center field, and Lejeune will stay right there. Tyler Lejeune works the wheels, and he will notch his 4th stolen base of the year. And just like that, a runner in scoring position for the Lightning.
That's what they do. Just put pressure on you consistently. I mean, that's been, like I said, that's their calling card. I mean, 1 through 10, all those guys can have swiped a bag at some point. They do it when you least expect it.
Santiago at the plate. 277 on the year. The 0-1. Fastball low for Melby. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a big thing with Melby. Had a really good start, good outings. But the thing about it is being able to get out of pressure with the walks.
Yeah, and this is a Leesburg team that's been able to create a vast amount of offense without necessarily getting hits. They've been really good at the plate, drawing walks, and you can't hand it to them because the walks turns into a double with this team pretty consistently, as you saw right there. Just got to pound the strike zone and force them to hit the ball, because that's kind of been what if they've had a weakness this year, that's been it, is consistently putting contact on the ball. Although they've started to come around in that aspect as well. At least got to give your defense a chance, though.
Melby works ahead in this count. 1-2. Lejeune at second base. Melby checks back. Down to the dirt. Blocked by Caruso. Lejeune still has a nice lead there at second base. Evens up the count to the second baseman for the Lightning, a Leesburg team that they got swept by Sanford, and it was a tough break for them. But after that, they have been the hottest team in the Florida League since. Yeah,
definitely. Like we said in the intro, 9 out of the last 10 games won by Leesburg, and some of those have been blowouts, and some of those have been scrappy, found a way to win type of games for Leesburg. But the pitching was really what they struggled with early on. I mean, in that Sanford series, they gave up a ton of runs in that series and just bolstered their ERA as a team, and really just had better approaches on the mound, pounded the strike zone, forced contact in that aspect.
And there was a strikeout there from Melby, fires right down Broadway. And there is out number 1. And funny thing enough, he flipped his bat over to this man up, Austin Brindling. They're showing bats today. So once Santiago struck out, just flipped the bat.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good sign here to start the ball game, but
first pitch fouled off by Brindling, who we didn't see in the Sanford series first time out because he had a wedding to go to.
Yeah, he was at a wedding in New York, is what Coach told me. So he's been pretty consistent. He missed a couple games last week as he was doing orientation at South Carolina, is what I heard. But other than that, he's been a pretty steady presence here in this top of the lineup for Leesburg.
Bouncing in, Lejeune had a nice lead and goes to third, sliding and safely. Nice heads up by the runner in Lejeune, and he moves to third base, and all of a sudden a runner at third for Leesburg.
Yeah, you can't bobble the ball whatsoever behind the plate. That's another pressure that this Leesburg team's going to put on you. I mean, you saw the secondary lead. He was over halfway down the line on his secondary lead, and once he saw that ball hit the ground, he 3 steps to third base there. He had no shot to throw him out, so can't let that happen.
Obviously, we more about Brindling going to South Carolina. The Gamecocks next year was one of the best hitters from North Florida in a single season in 2023.
Yeah, just really a good bat-to-ball player. It's a lot of contact. Doesn't strike out a ton. hit 386 last year for North Florida with 20 stolen bases, so a lot of speed in that aspect as well.
1-2 the count to Brindling. Lejeune works at third. Got a piece of that one, and Lejeune, you can see on the screen, he's halfway.
Yeah, and that's all the speedy hitters in this lineup. They're not afraid to take a huge lead and put pressure on these defenders.
Pitch from Melby. Line up the middle and his center field, and that will score the run. The Lightning take an early 1-0 lead on the Austin Brindling RBI single.
Yeah, and you saw Brindling foul off a few good pitches there, just staying alive. And he's kind of a prototypical leadoff hitter, but right there you saw it, drove it right back up the middle, finally forced a mistake and made the pitcher pay.
So the run scores. Here comes the cleanup hitter, and Michael Furry. Two for 5 against DeLand, couple of doubles. Just on the corner, strike count to Furry.
And, this is the 4-hole hitter for this Leesburg team, but Coach Billings says that Furry's one of the fastest players he's ever coached in his career. So, just like I said, top to bottom, these guys can fly on the base paths.
Nothing in 1-2, Michael Furry hitting .325 on the year. Grounds 1-2 Ward. Quick fire to first. Nice dug up by Collins. He gets him out as Brindling got a nice lead, jumped to second. So no avail throw to second. Only plays to first. And there is 2 gone in the inning as Brindling goes to second base.
Yeah, he was on the move right there, and you'll see that a lot as well. Hitting runs, something the Lightning like to utilize as well.
In home runs, leads the team in RBIs. Number 32, Brooks Bryant.
So now here comes Brooks Bryant out of Troy. Another. If you're a Sanford fan, we didn't see him against Leesburg earlier this year, but he's at the plate. A really good hitter in this Leesburg Lightning lineup.
Yeah, a couple home runs already, so added a really important power element that his Leesburg team was lacking before he got here.
2 home runs, 10 RBIs, hitting .300 on the season. Was in Lynchburg, Virginia earlier this week for the NACSB prospect games.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy who has all those tools, especially behind the dish. He may be a little bit more of a first baseman at the higher level, but
I'll be checking back at Brindling. That's low, 2-0. Yeah, I feel like when you're a catcher, usually a catcher either a first baseman or they play behind the dish.
Yeah, he's pretty good defensively, but definitely has more of that offensive pop, so he may move to one of the quarter infield spots as his career progresses.
So already 2 balls, no strikes to Brooks Bryant out of Troy University in the Sun Belt Conference. Rising sophomore. Fastball down Broadway. Needed strike there. Get me over by Melby. 2-1. So in the inning thus far, Melby has walked Lejeune and then given up a single to Brindling that scored Lejeune. Trying to get out of this inning, just giving up that run. Brindling is in position to score. Melby checks back at Brindling. We discussed it a lot. You said a lot, Carter. They're going to like to run on you a whole lot around the bases, and so far they're keeping Melby on his toes.
Yeah, and I think that's also a reason they draw so many walks as a team. Just when it's in the head of that pitcher that you got a guy that's probably going to be going and still a base, can cause you offense without necessarily hitting the ball consistently. Even when they're slumping, they've been able to get on base and create offense and score runs.
They'll be working the corners. 2-2 count to Bryan. Now Brindling's going. The throw and blocked by Russo, and that's a stolen base for Brindling. That's the 3rd stolen base in the inning thus far. And Brindling gets on for stolen base number 10. Double digits.
Yeah, and that's with missing probably at least a week's worth of games, already at 10 in the double digits for the stolen base category. So a lot of speed from Mr. Brindling.
3-2 pitch. Bouncer to second. Woodburn has it. Tosses to first, and the inning will be over. Not until Leesburg takes the early lead. An RBI single for Austin Brindling gives Lightning a 1-0 advantage. You go to the bottom half, the first on Flow Sports. Thanks for joining us. We go to the bottom half of the first, 1-0 lead for the Leesburg Lightning, and on the mound tonight is the hard-throwing righty, Danny Rodriguez, is on the bump. He's a guy that really works short, but it's not looking to open up this game here for the Lightning this evening.
Yeah, typically a reliever, like I said, out of this Lightning bullpen, but tonight getting his first start in the early part of the season. One of the better pitchers in this Lightning squad so far to this point in the season, has a 2.34 ERA and 7 2/3 innings pitched, only giving up 6 hits and 2 earned runs so far, and struggled against Sanford in his first time. That's one of his only bad outings to this point. So going to look to settle in. Maybe it'd be interesting to see if the Lightning can find another frontline starter here, if Rodriguez can continue his fortunes like he did in the bullpen.
He'll face the lineup. Led off, it's Connor Hyzak, Nelson Taylor, Nick Collins, then Jaden Ward, Breda Woodburn. Newly added addition to Sanford, McGuire Holbrook, then Stuart Puckett, Clayton Hodges, Cole Russo, Andrew Kwan Smith rounds it out. There's a strike call on the outside part from Rodriguez to Connor Hyzak. Brooklyn 0-2 to the center fielder out of Mississippi State. Was 3 for 5 against Winter Garden this past Sunday. He was tremendous at Olympia High School. 0-2 is up high from Rodriguez. 1-2 to Hyzak.
If you'll remember, Hyzak had that first pitch home run last time these two teams met. Sanford go on to roll in that game, but one of the league leaders in the league leader in home runs to this point.
Hyzak rounds to third and throw across the first from Logan Chapman is in time for out number 1. Let's set up the defense for the Leesburg Lightning. In left field, Micah New. In center field, Austin Brindling. In right is Michael Furry around the diamond. Third base, Logan Chapman. Shortstop is Hector Mangual. The second base is Gabriel Santiago. First base, Kate Sadler. And catching for Rodriguez tonight is Drew Stubbs. That brings up Nelson Taylor to the dish for the River Rats. First pitch swinging is fouled off. Nelson had a solid weekend against Winter Park. 3 stolen bases with a hit, a walk as well. Also played in the prospect games. One of 12 River Rats to be on the roster for the whole Florida League. Nice pitch by Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's really impressive numbers. I know that pretty well blew everyone else out of the water in terms of number of players on the team. But, I mean, Sanford, deservingly so, has been dominant so far to this point in the Florida League season.
0-2 to Taylor at FSU. Going to FSU in the fall, originally out of at Polk State College from Clearwater, Florida. There's a fastball ringed in there. Inside part 2-2. You can see the velocity from Rodriguez. He has some nice stuff added from the righty.
Yeah, definitely a bullpen type of arm, but I know Coach Billings wants to use this as a chance to maybe develop some of these guys that, maybe want to see if they have it as a starter as well as a bullpen guy. I mean, that's kind of what Summer League should be for, is developing guys. I know wins are important, but the main thing that these guys are here for is to develop their game.
Full count pitch to Nelson Taylor. Puts one on the ground. Santiago scoops it up quickly to first base, and there is out number 2. So a couple of grounders in the infield here in the first, and here comes Nick Collins.
Yeah, a couple of really solid outs here to start the outing for Denny Rodriguez, just pounding the strike zone. Got down 3-2 there, but battled back and got the second out here in the bottom of the first, excuse me.
Nick Collins comes in. Fouled off by Nick Collins. He was phenomenal against Leesburg early June. 6 for 12 with 5 RBIs and a home run against this Lightning squad. Trying to get back to that offense here, maybe get something going against Leesburg again.
Yeah, and like I said, Sanford just put on an ungodly amount of numbers.
It was a clinic.
In three games there, yeah, against Leesburg last time. But, I mean, that, like we said, Leesburg's a completely different team now, or has been to this point. It seems like Sanford might be a little bit as well. It just seemed unbeatable, like no one was going to touch them the entire year, and maybe on a little bit of a skid. I wouldn't say, a cold streak, but just kind of been average,
yeah.
I would say.
They
more than
win
anything.
a game, they lose a game.
Yeah,
back
just
and
been
forth.
average,
Yeah.
just like a normal team. And, Leesburg's kind of been the opposite, 9 out of their last 10, like we talked about. So it's kind of what Sanford did to start their campaign.
It's funny, ironically, the last time Sanford had a winning streak was a sweep against Leesburg.
Yeah.
And that was a sweep, 14-6 win on game number 1, 8-7 win in game 2, a 12-2 win in game 3. 2-2 was just outside, full count pitch. But since then, Sanford has been really winning one game, losing in the next game. It's back and forth, and we're trying to get back to a winning streak tonight.
Yeah, and I believe that after that Sanford series is when Leesburg started to figure things out. Yeah, so it's just been, ever since these last 2 teams met, it's been almost polar opposites.
Fouled off by Collins. It really flipped a switch. I think one big thing is the additions of players. Bring back Brindling, Drew Kavanaugh, who's not in the lineup tonight, Brooks Bryant. So many guys that are impactful bats already into the lineup have showed out in this big streak of winning ball games.
Yeah, I think Michael Furry as well. He just, that was his first series of the season was against Sanford, so he was still finding his groove. I mean, a lot of guys in this lineup didn't play the first time around. Pitching as well. I know this will be a really good pitching series for Leesburg. 3 of their top arms going in the 3 games this weekend.
Full count coming in. Nick Collins way up high, ball 4. And Nick Collins, newly Florida Southern commit, works the 2-out walk and brings up another Florida Southern commit and Jaden Ward. The Ward cleaning up today. He has been really on a heater. 3 hits over the weekend against Winter Garden and Winter Park, and RBI as well. 3 RBIs total.
Almost up to that 300 mark in the batting average, 297. But like you said, just been on a heater lately.
He reminds me, he's a typical contact guy. You look at his stance, puts the bat close, puts the ball in play no matter what. Chopped foul, trickling towards the Leesburg dugout. 1-1 to Jaden Ward. Went to Lake Meeker High School. Also, was a high school teammate with Dylan Cruz out of LSU. Shout out to Dylan Cruz, a former River Rat. They just won the College World Series against the Florida Gators earlier this week.
Yeah, several players on both sides of that field were former Florida Collegiate Summer League players, both with the Gators and the Tigers. I know several Florida Gators will be back playing in the Florida League here in the next coming weeks. Dale Thomas, last year's MVP, will be with the Snappers pretty soon. So
that was a lot of offense in the World Series this year.
Yeah, the last 2 games are a little bit of a letdown, but
there was a strikeout fastball by Rodriguez, gets him over Ward, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, one left on base. Nice work from Danny Rodriguez and the Lightning. Go to the top of the second. Leesburg up by 1 on Flow Sports. Welcome back from historic Sanford Memorial Stadium, top of the second here from Sanford, Florida. Great to have you with us on the Flow Sports Game of the Week. We hope you are tuned in here all on the variety of platforms that you can watch this ball game. Pleasure to have you joining us in for this one here on a Thursday night. You get set back, at least we're back up to bat as lead it off will be the right-handed hitter. And Logan Chapman to the dish. Chapman out of Georgia Tech, going to Georgia Tech, committed to the Jackets. 1-0 is fired in there. Chapman was played in the prospect games in Lynchburg, Virginia. Was 1 for 5 with an RBI and 2 walks. And already in his freshman year, or going to his freshman year, he has been playing some great baseball.
Yeah, he's been on. Talk about guys that have just been, smoking hot at the plate so far. Logan Chapman's been one of them. He's hitting .309 so far on the season and leads the team in at bats by a pretty good margin as well. I mean, he's getting those reps, those valuable reps. That's going to be super important to developing him as a player. And we talked about that at the prospect games. He's a guy who could potentially be a pro prospect here a couple years down the line. He hits for power, hits for contact, plays really good defense, and I know he's the lone high school player on this Lightning roster, and definitely a guy that's going to be a really good player down the line, I believe.
Hitters count to Chapman. .3-1 is sent high to right field. Smith drifting back a couple of steps. He camps underneath it and makes the catch for out number 1. So a little more of a line shot off the bat of Chapman. Stays right here in this ballpark. 1 gone, and here comes Kate Sadler.
Yeah, Sadler's a guy who's really improved as well. Been rotating at first base a little bit, especially with the addition of Drew Kavanaugh, but hitting .308 so far in the season. Yet to hit one out, but a guy with a lot of power. Just missed a couple of home runs this season.
Here's a high chopper. Puckett has it. Fires to first for 2 gone. That was, Puckett had to wait some time to get that baseball. Came right to the glove, and an easy play for Puckett. Goes 5-3. Quickly 2 gone for Micah New.
Yeah, and Sadler, one of the only guys in this lineup that, isn't absolutely blazing on the base paths. Maybe been a tougher play with somebody like Austin Brindling at the dish, but had a really good play. And Micah New, another guy who's been struggling a little bit, but been super versatile and been important defensively, especially for this Lightning team.
Micah New takes a called strike. New making his 13th appearance of the year, playing left field today. He was 0 for 2 with the walk against the Land in the doubleheader on Sunday. Overall, he is hitting .222. Nice swing and a miss there on the pitch from Melby. So Melby's ahead, trying to get a shutdown inning here of the Lightning that added a run in the first on a Austin Brindling RBI single. That's low. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the New Orleans products. Goes to the University of New Orleans. They'll be back in the stretch. He deals. It's another fastball that's low, 2-2 to New. Talked about this Leesburg team and the way they're playing. Big thing has been the offense. As a team total, they're hitting .267, which is top in the Florida League this year.
Yeah, and that wasn't something you could say earlier on in the season for this Leesburg team. I mean, they were finding a way to get. They were getting walked a lot, but weren't able to hit the ball, and they definitely turned that around.
And there's a strikeout from Melby. That's a nice 1-2-3 shutdown inning of the Lightning lineup. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. We go to the bottom half. The second, Sanford trails by a run.
Stud, too.
You go to the bottom half, the second, Braden Woodburn steps in the batter's box. It'll be Braden Woodburn, McQuire, Holbrook, and Stuart Puckett for the River Rats of Sanford. Overall, 12-4 on the campaign through 16 games. Woodburn drives it into right near the line, and it will drop in foul. Could have been 50-50, but kind of geared over that line. So foul it off to Braden Woodburn out of Tampa. Also part of the roster that went over to Lynchburg, Virginia for the Prospect Showcase. 2 RBIs, 3 walks against the Valley League and the Southern League.
He's having a really good season as well, hitting right at 300, at the 300 mark, which is obviously what you aim for, but also has a home run, 2 RBIs, and drew 10 walks so far this season.
2 balls and 1 strike to Woodburn out of Winter Springs, Florida. On the corner, tad outside for Rodriguez, 3-1. Rodriguez, good in the first inning, trying to go shut down the Sanford lineup in the second. 3-1, swing and a miss. Kind of fooled Woodburn just a bit. Full count coming. Three, 2, another one driven out to right field, but fouled off the bat. Rodriguez, currently undecided. Righty pitcher, pitched at University of Tampa this past season, also attended Daytona State and Florida Gulf Coast. This one rings inside and high for ball 4, and Woodburn works a leadoff walk.
Good at bat there by Woodburn. Ran the count full there. Fouled off a couple of good pitches and eventually drew a walk here, and a valuable first base runner here for Sanford.
So runner on, here comes the debut. The River Rats, McGuire Holbrook out of Florida State. Late addition to this River Rats ball club. First pitch is swung on. Line to left field, making the catch is new. So one pitch, one out here in the second. That was just on a rope to left.
Yeah, and Holbrook's a really good player. Played last season at Florida State, as you said, and was all Big 12 second team at West Virginia as well in 2022. So going to be a welcome addition for the River Rats this season.
And that's going to bring up Stuart Puckett at the hot corner this evening. 2 home runs, 13 RBIs. As Rodriguez checks back at first. Puckett currently tied with RBIs as well with Michael Young of Winter Garden. That's outside. 1-0. Or a pitch out. Puckett had a home run against Winter Garden. He put one right down the line. As a matter of fact, he hit that baseball into somebody's yard. Which was
at Olympia.
Yeah, Olympia High School. He put, it was a ball that just kept towering and over the fence and went into somebody's backyard, which is
that field. I mean, it's just like
it's a hitter's park.
Yeah, you poke one and it's out there. Like I know when we played them, we had like 5 home runs combined in that game. It was just ridiculous. They were just like routine fly balls. And Michael Furry did hit one bomb though. Hit it off Olympia High School over there.
It's a hitter's park.
If you hit a bomb, it looks like it just went about a mile. But yeah, no, it was definitely a hitter's park. Definitely not one that's favorable to the pitching staff.
1-0. Woodburn's going. The throw to second base is not in time. So close. He caught around it. And Woodburn gets the stolen base.
Yeah, good throw by Stubbs. Looks like Mangual bobbled it a little bit, but good stolen base there. Good jump there for Woodburn.
He just got around it. Stubbs looked like he might have had a chance to get the throw in, but a little bit short. So even count now to Stuart Puckett out of South Florida. Rodriguez deals and there's swing and a miss. Rather, Puckett got a piece of that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the lefty batter. Sanford 12-4 the season. Leesburg 11-7. Here's the 1-2 offering. Puckett chases, and there's a swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Rodriguez, and there's the second out here in the second inning.
Obviously a huge strikeout there for Danny Rodriguez. Got the runner in scoring position. Want to keep him there, and the Sanford lineup's very dangerous top to bottom. So want to get all the outs you can, especially runners in scoring position.
So that will bring around Clayton Hodges out of Jacksonville University. Was 1 for 7 against Winter Park with a pair of walks. First pitch, big rip and a miss. Fastball inside from Rodriguez, 0-1.
Hodges still looking to find his groove here this season, hitting 190. Definitely a guy with a lot of tools, though. You can just tell he's a guy that's oozing talent. He's got to find his stride here, as do many players here early part of the midway point now in the Florida League.
Now they go to third base. And Woodburn is out. They got him hacking a bit. Caught stealing in a pickle goes Woodburn. And the inning will be over for Rodriguez. He gets out of it. We'll go to the third inning. Sanford trails by a run here on the Flow Sports Game of the Week. Back here in the top of the third inning, Sanford trails by 1 to Leesburg Lightning. Great to have you with us, Jonathan Mayer, alongside Carter Mansfield, as Drew Stubbs will get it going here in the top of the third. Will Melby back on the bump for Sanford. First pitch coming to Stubbs. Fastball right in there for strike number 1. Stubbs out of Weber International University. Part of a really good catching roster when you look at what Leesburg has on the team.
Yeah, two of the guys, both Hayden Perry and Brooks Bryan, came into the team, and Drew Kavanaugh as well. They've been rotating a little bit at first base with him, but all 4 of those guys caught so far, and 3 of them were late additions due to playing at regionals. So 3 guys that got playing time with their teams in the NCAA tournament. Brooks Bryan and Hayden Perry, both true freshmen, and got pretty consistent playing time for both of their squads. So really good catching unit. I'd say probably one of the best in the league. And Drew Stubbs kind of brings the experience element to that rotation, as he was a part of the 2021 championship team for the Leesburg Lightning.
2 balls and 1 strike to Drew Stubbs. Melby fires a little bit outside. Just a tad. 3 balls and 1 strike to Stubbs. When I think of Drew Stubbs, I think he was on the Reds. You get him going?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
He's
about.
a Reds player.
He's like a top prospect at one point, I do believe. And yeah, no, I thought that same thing too.
Garrett Stubbs, I think?
Garrett Stubbs, maybe.
Yeah, that's the name.
That's who it is. That's what I'm looking for. Drew Stubbs sounds familiar too, though.
I know.
I feel like there was a player.
Have you ever asked if they're related?
I have. Yeah, I have asked. I asked somebody. I didn't ask him specifically, but because they were talking like he's got some cousin that plays like baseball or something. So
yeah, that could be him.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't him. I asked. Yeah. Drew Stubbs was the outfielder. We were on the right track there. Garrett Stubbs was the catcher.
There's a strikeout pitch on the corner. He gets Stubbs out, looking. Round number 1. And so far, Will Melby fully turning the corner here after giving up a hit and a walk in the first inning.
Yeah, both pitchers really had a good outing so far. We talked about Melby only giving up 1 hit so far and a walk, but that did prove to be pretty costly, as it's the only run of the ball game so far. But definitely a good start by Melby. Nothing too shabby at all.
So that brings up Hector Mangual. 10th batter in the lineup. Played gets to land on Sunday in the doubleheader. Had gone on base, couple of walks. Down 2 balls and no strikes to Mangual. Currently in the portal.
Yeah, played his first 2 seasons at Missouri. Redshirted last year. Actually played a little bit as a true freshman, but did redshirt. Hit .267 and with 3 RBIs and 15 ABs as a true freshman at Missouri. Didn't play last year, but a guy that hasn't played, real live baseball in over a year and a half at this point. So a guy with a lot of potential, but really knocking off the rust, I would say, more than anything here in this early part of the season. He started to come around a little bit as the season's gone along.
3 balls and no strikes to Mangual. There's a strike fired by Melby. And one thing you can add, Carter, is his defense has been really good. That's why he's been in the lineup. But solely, if you get the bat going, that really helps the team a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he started off opening night as the 3-0 hitter for this Lightning squad, and you see him now as he's in the 10th spot. But I mean, I think Coach Rich Billings saw the potential that he has at the plate. But like you said, defensively is where he's super valuable piece for this Lightning squad. Has a cannon of an arm and plays super hard in the field.
Full count pitch from Melby. That tails low ball 4. So after a 3-0 and then back-to-back strikes by Melby, Mangual gets on the board with another walk. As he put the line car over, and here comes Tyler Lejeune. Lejeune walked in the first inning, later scored on a Austin Brindling RBI single. As they have the runner on with 1 out. First pitch coming to Lejeune, lined off the netting. Lejeune out of Northwest Florida State College, and he was the teammate of Malachi and Kyson Witherspoon.
As well as Cade Sadler, first
Yeah,
baseman.
Kate Sadler, too. As Coach Kevin Davidson looking over at Cole Russo's catching tonight.
Yeah, I think something's up with his equipment there. I don't think it was an injury. It didn't look like it hit him. It went all the way
No.
back to the screen, so.
Well, Coach Kevin Davidson, he's a catcher. That's what he played at Rollins in his playing days. So I guess he knows a thing or two about, what he sees and trying to make everything's on the same page for Russo. That's,
Oh, my goodness. What is going on here? It's mayhem.
here comes the 0-1 offering to Tyler Lejeune out of Iota, Louisiana. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Iota.
Iota. Have you been to Iota?
I have not.
No?
I've only been to New Orleans.
New Orleans?
Louisiana, yeah.
How's NOLA?
It's something, it's cool to do for, 3 or 4 days, but you don't want to, go do it twice.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Like just
It's
one.
like you want to do it once in your life, but after that, you don't really want to go back for the most part.
Rounder to second, Woodburn for 1, for 2. They got it. Nice double play attribution. That goes 4-6-3, and that will end the inning. Melby works around a 1-out walk. We'll go to the bottom half of the third. Sanford trails by a run here on the Flow Sports Game of the Week. Bottom half of the third from Sanford. Great to have you with us on Flow Sports. The game of the week, which is a cool thing to see. I saw it this morning, and I'm like, hey, that's a pretty cool thing, a gig to have, being able to be on a free opportunity for everybody to watch this ball game. A really good start to a really important weekend series for both teams.
Yeah, this is, I think, probably the biggest series in the Florida League so far to this point. We've kind of established who the top teams in the league are. I mean, we're at the halfway point, at least for Leesburg, and Sanford are quickly approaching that mark. But kind of starting, all the players have gotten back from the NCAA tournament at this point. We kind of know who the top dogs are going to be, and Leesburg and Sanford have been the two best teams, pretty clearly to this point in the season. And this is the first time, like I said earlier, that Sanford's had a chance to potentially give up that #1 spot. So big weekend series here, and definitely the right choice for the game of the week in the Florida League.
3-0 count to Clayton Hodges, who was at the bat before Woodburn was out trying to go stealing, and Hodges works the walk. Quick work, as Rodriguez didn't really have anything in the strike zone at all in that at bat. So runner on, leading off the third. Here comes Cole Russo.
43 batting average, seventh in the league. 511 on base percentage is the best in the league. Leads the team in triples, second, third on
And here comes Russo.
catcher, number 12, Cole Russo.
He's having a nice start, hitting .343. 1 home run, 10 RBIs. A couple of hits against Winter Garden. That's on the outside corner. To Russo. From the University of Central Florida.
Yeah, super valuable when you have a guy behind the dish that can be just as good offensively as he is defensively. Almost caught him leaning over there, but bad throw saved an out.
Nothing in one to Russo. See if Hodges may try to run on Rodriguez. One's line off the roof and right back behind the umpire. Comes right back where it came from.
Yeah, I couldn't do that again if you try. That's
No.
a pretty slim margin right there to hit it square.
Man, this is a very historic ballpark. It's in the name.
Yeah.
Historic Sanford Morris Stadium.
Absolutely. Very nice stadium here in Sanford.
I'll take it 2 now on Russo.
Got him.
Another quick
Ooh.
check.
Man, he's almost got him twice here in this
Yeah.
at bat. I'm not sure what he's doing over there, Hodges, but maybe Rodriguez just has a pretty elite pickoff move. I mean, that could be a possibility as well.
Yeah, Hodges is 3rd on the team and still on bases with 4. So you never know. Try to work something here. Use your speed. Sanford team that loves to run. Obviously with Jaquan Smith, who is on deck, he has 14 stolen bases. Another check back. That's 3 times already. And if this MLB, he would automatically get the base. But
Yeah, no pitch clock
No
or
pitch
any
clock,
of those
yeah.
game measures.
bouncer to the right side, out of play. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes to Russo.
Yeah, both these teams really like to run, as you said. Sanford with 45 on the season and Leesburg with 57. These two teams lead the league in that department. So,
Yeah.
as they do in most of the statistical departments, both these teams.
These 2 teams are very similar when you look at a lot of the numbers. Fires low. Russo has kind of drawn away from that one. You look at a lot what they have. A lot of these teams have a lot of solid, group of 5, players. When you look at on both sides, the pitching, a lot of velocity, a lot of guys that have some good stuff. Now coming down to it here as we end June, these teams are really fun, two fun ball clubs to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. They play both a really entertaining style of baseball. I think Sanford probably has a little bit more power than Leesburg, but Leesburg probably has a little bit more speed. Nonetheless, both really entertaining teams to watch in more ways than one.
This one sent out to left field, but right into the glove of Micah New. Makes the catch, and Russo's out on a fly out. As that will bring up Jaquan Smith for the Panthers. Or for the River Rats. I'm getting too ahead of myself.
Yeah, FIU on your mind.
Yeah, I'll be saying Panthers and Jaquan Smith coming spring, but in the meantime, he's a River Rat for Sanford. Jaquan Smith comes up to the dish, the 10th batter in the Sanford lineup tonight. 14 stolen bases and 14 walks on the year. Had 2 stolen bases yesterday morning in the prospect games against the Southern League. So Rodriguez continues to check back on Hodges.
That was another close one there.
At this point, do you run? Or do you stay there? Stay put?
I think you just probably end up just staying there. I mean, maybe when you get to the 2-out point, maybe do that, but.
On the ground, a second, Santiago for 1. They go to first for 2, and this one will skip away. So a fielder's choice as Smith will be at first base after the play. That goes 4-6. So here comes Coach Rich Billings.
Maybe asking about some kind of interference call, I believe, is what that's what he's asking for.
I think that's the matter.
We'll see.
That would have been a close play if there was if there was an interference. That would have been, or no interference. It would have been a close play at first.
Yes, with
Smith.
Jaquan Smith. Yeah, I mean, just a speedster. But, I mean, nonetheless, they'll call it. If it's interference, they're going to call you out no matter who's running to first. But I didn't see enough to make any kind of call there.
As the umpire's talking it over, Rich Billings, head coach for Leesburg.
And they call him out.
And they called him out, yeah, so it'll be interference on the runner and Hodges, and that will be the third out of the inning. So once again, Danny Rodriguez continues to settle down the Sanford potent lineup. We'll go to the fourth inning. More baseball next on Flow Sports. Welcome back, top of the fourth. Sanford is down 1-0 over Leesburg here from historic Sanford Memorial Stadium. Game 1 of 3 between these both teams. And on the mound, coming in to pitch will be the righty Lance Wade, making overall his second appearance of the year. Pitch at last time out against DeLand. Just a bouncer up the middle, scooped by Ward. Can't make a play to first. And Santiago gets on the board.
Yeah, that was just a tough play there. Looked like just kind of ate up the shortstop. Almost made a really nice play. Looked like he had a handle on it at first, but just couldn't finish it. And it's going to be hard to throw out a guy like Santiago if you make any kind of hesitation or bobble the ball at all.
Some more on Lance Wade. Went 2 1/3, no hits, 4 strikeouts against the Suns last Monday. Did pitch against the Southern team yesterday. 1 inning, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk. And one thing to note, he has a lot of velocity and good velocity. Sits around 93 and 94 miles per hour on the fastball. Currently in the portal. Previously did not pitch this year. So looking for a new place to play. See that they can see that velocity touch up. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Brindling, who had an RBI single in the first. And here goes Santiago to second. The throw in. A little short, and Santiago works with the stolen base.
Yeah, Santiago, league leader in stolen bases to this point, and
It's 18 now.
18 now on the season already. Only the 19th game of the season so far for the Lightning. He almost took third there as well. Thought about it, but held off. And also a perfect 18 for 18 now on the season as well. Has yet to be thrown out on the base paths so far to this point. So very efficient runner, not a guy who just, goes every time and only gets it half the time. But when he goes, he always to this point has made it.
3-1 is on the ground. A first scooped up by Collins on a first, and he's out. So close. I thought Brugman might have beat that, but it'll be out goes 3-1 on the play as Santiago moves to third base.
Yeah, way to do a job right there. Austin Brindling hitting it to the right side, exactly what you want to do to move that runner over with no outs.
Now we'll see Michael Furry, the cleanup man, who grounded out to shortstop in the first inning. Then field, third baseman is shifting in. There's a fastball fired by Wade. In the zone, 0-1 to Michael Furry at a St. John's River State College. Second-year man with Leesburg. Bouncing in, blocked by Russo, 1-1.
You can just see how much Michael Furry has developed since last season with Leesburg. Just barely hit under 200 last season and didn't hit any home runs, but to this point, so far for this Leesburg squad, has hit 325 with a couple of home runs, 6 RBIs, and stolen 8 bases so far on the campaign. He's always had that speed element, but really developed his bat and his power ability at the plate.
Definitely, Summer League can be a really good opportunity for you to, tinker some things in your bat, maybe on the field, and Furry has done so, hitting well over 320 on the year. 1-2, just fouled off by Furry. Great crowd here at Sanford Memorial Stadium. It's been a while since we saw the River Rats come here and play at their home ballpark, but great to have baseball back on a gorgeous Thursday night. That's a nice take by Furry. 2-2, the center fielder. Furry was 4 for 10 against Sanford in their first time these two teams met each other back in the second weekend of June. That one's fired in, little inside, and a full count pitch coming.
Yeah, not the worst thing in the world to walk a guy like Michael Furry right here to set a potential double play ball, but you do have a really dangerous hitter in Brooks Bryan in the on-deck circle that can do a lot of damage with one swing of the bat.
Now pie ball 4, another walk. Issued by the River Rats, this time to Furry. Here comes Brooks Bryan. Carter, what do you think about this opportunity here for Leesburg? Have runners on for a guy that has power in the bat for Brooks Bryan.
Yeah, I mean, you're facing a really good offensive team like Sanford in a position with, a chance to really tack on some runs and have a pretty good early lead with Michael Furry, who's probably going to steal second here if I had to guess. And then a power bat like Brooks Bryan at the plate has a chance to drive in a couple with one swing of the bat. So want to, take advantage, and there you see it right there, Michael Furry. First pitch on the move.
How do you know that?
9 on the season so far now for Furry.
If you're a betting man, I'm always
Probably wouldn't get very good odds on a bet potentially with the Lightning, but
like
easy money, free
minus
money.
1,200 or something.
Yeah, that the Lightning are going to steal a base, but.
Now that works runners second and third on the stolen base by Michael Furry. All right, 2 balls and no strikes to Bryan. 0 for 1.
Yeah, now the dynamic completely changes on the mound. As now you got runners on second and third. You're not really looking for that ground ball. I mean, it's going to drive in a run if he hits it on the ground here. Want to get maybe an infield fly or pitch for a strikeout here. But Bryan at the plate uses aggressiveness to your advantage. So he skies that one foul.
Got a piece of that one. Brooks Bryan trying to work something here, but Lance Wade trying to limit the control. Trying to fire strikes in the zone right here. Curveball. Got him. That's a beautiful pitch by Wade. That's a lot of spin rate by the righty, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, really nice pitch there. Just froze Brian. That might have been the latest strike call I've ever seen in my life, too. I was sitting there waiting.
Yeah, I've seen that the umpire.
I thought it was a strike,
Yeah.
though. Yeah, I mean, it was right there. Really good pitch, breaking ball. That's kind of how you get those power hitters to freeze up a little bit. I know Brooks was probably sitting fastball there and got a curveball he wasn't expecting.
Logan Chapman ekes one through the right side and an RBI single. Now they're trying to go for 2, and they will. Chapman goes to second. A 2-run single for Logan Chapman. And Leesburg up 3-0. That just kind of got through to the right side, just past Nick Collins, in a big base hit and base knock for Chapman.
Yeah, I think Wade trying to get ahead early, and Chapman went up there first pitch swinging with 2 away. Just kind of caught Wade off guard, I think, a little bit. Wasn't expecting a Chapman swing there, especially in such a big spot with runners on second and third and 2 outs. Chapman showed just the cool composure that he has and took that one to opposite field and drove in 2 runs for the Lightning here, extend that lead 3-0.
So 2-run knock for Chapman. Here comes Kate Sadler. That's a big hit. Obviously a Sanford team that is top in the Florida League, but you want to get an early lead, keep it going? How about some 2-out hitting? Just a job for Chapman. 0-1 on Sadler now. Fouls it off to the back. 0-2 now to Kate Sadler out of Northwest Florida State College.
Chapman now leads the team in RBIs with 11 so far on the season. It was his 10th and 11th, passing up Brooks Bryant.
Knocked to second. Sliding is Woodburn. Quickly to first, and Sadler is out 4-3. However, Logan Chapman, the rising freshman to go to Georgia Tech, says, let me get some fun in the action. A 2-run single to the right side makes it a 3-0 lead for the Lightning. Go to the bottom half. Next on Flow Sports. Welcome back, bottom half of the 4th. Sanford is down by 3 runs. A couple of RBI singles for Leesburg has given them the advantage for the road team. As we work to the top of the order, Connor Hyzak gets things going. That's a first pitch strike call from Danny Rodriguez. It'll obviously be Hyzak, Taylor, and Collins. Top half of the order. 0-1. Swing and a miss, and Rodriguez gets him ahead 0-2. And right now, Rodriguez, who Locke's outing was only about an inning or a third, he's been really, really good.
Yeah, and this is a new role, like we've already said, for him. And there he goes, gets a strikeout right there. But really adjusted well and shown what he can do. Has been super dominant, just pounding the strike zone and really limited this Sanford offense so far.
And one thing to note as well, I would add, is 12 players for Sanford, the River roster made the trip over to the prospect games, and they came in late yesterday night, so that could maybe be a factor of maybe a little, the bats kind of not waking up right now.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a fatigue issue, but Leesburg, a couple guys in their lineup as well, hitting the ball anyways. Played there up in Lynchburg over the early part of the week.
1 ball, 1 strike to Taylor for the River Rats. That one is in there. 2 balls and 1 strike. To Nelson.
Every time I think about Nelson Taylor, I just think about that grand slam.
Grand slam, the second at bat.
The last time these two teams played here as well, just drove that one out. Is that a school out there? Whatever that is. Just almost
Knocks one over right to the pitcher. Rodriguez gloves it and tosses to first for out number 2. Well, Danny Rodriguez is having one good night. Already 2 gone in the 4th.
Yeah, when everything goes right, it goes right. And
yeah.
You saw it right there with Danny Rodriguez, just almost a reaction more so than trying to make a play. And he made the right one and got a really good hitter, Nelson Taylor, out, and already has 2 outs here in the bottom half of the inning.
That was a really, really nice play by Nick Collins. Here comes Nick Collins. Fires one outside. Rodriguez trying to go 4 scoreless. Already has struck out Hyzak, and the grounder right to himself to Taylor. 2-0 now to Collins, who walked in the first. Two and one now to Collins. Going to the Mocs of Florida Southern in the fall. Previously was at Houston. This one skips in again. 3-1 to Collins. Still no activity in the Leesburg bullpen down the left field line.
Yeah, early part of the season, Leesburg would typically have their starters go 3 or 4 innings, but kind of extended that a little bit here. I didn't really think Rodriguez would go more than 4, but he may be scheduled to go right at 4 here tonight.
There's a pitch that works the corner for strike number 2. Full count now coming to Collins. Obviously, Sanford went to the bullpen earlier. LB went 3 innings, giving up 1 earned run. And Lance Wake followed up, gave up 2 runs in the 4th. 3-2 is swung on and gets away, bouncing off the railing, throw to first, and the strikeout notice completed for Rodriguez. He is on a heater. 4 scoreless for the righty, and it works a quick 1-2-3 inning in the bottom half. You go to the 5th, 3-0 lead for Leesburg on Flow Sports. Top of the 5th from a historic Sanford Memorial Stadium. Leesburg up 3-0 over the home team. As Micah New will work with the stick to begin the top of the 5th. Back at it is Lance Wade on the bump for Sanford, and overall Carter Leesburg just has a little bit more umph right now with the energy.
Yeah, and whether that's, like we said, the prospect showcase or Leesburg just being in a general hot streak compared to any other team in the league, it's definitely just seemed like they've been ready to play a little bit more than Sanford has here tonight. And seen how offensively been capitalizing on their hits, 3 runs, and really kept that Sanford offense almost completely in check. So really good performance on both sides so far for Leesburg.
With New, sends one out to right field. Jaquan Smith, a couple steps back for out number 1, as New is out on the flyout going F9. 1 gone for Drew Stubbs. So Leesburg tonight, 3 runs, 3 hits. For Sanford, still no runs or no hits.
Better not jinx it there.
Well, I mean, for me, I feel like if you say it, it happens. And
Yeah.
You know, Sanford needs a hit right now.
Yeah, I think you're the Sanford. You're hoping to jinx it maybe
yeah.
a little bit.
As Stubbs takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Do you believe in that in the broadcasters? You know,
Oh
the
yeah,
whole,
no, definitely.
You do?
Yeah, I almost said it a couple innings or like the last inning, and
I said it with a no-hitter.
I bit my tongue there. Yeah.
Like if your pitcher has a no-hitter, I'll be quiet. But if my team is not hitting,
Yeah.
I'll try to.
Yeah, no, I would be the same way if Sanford. I would be like, yeah, no hitter, yeah. So.
That's popped. Foul ground. Cole Russo will call it, make the catch with 2 hands, and a couple of things going out in the air. There's 2 outs in the 5th. I know that sometimes you may say it, and maybe you work with a broadcaster, and they get upset sometimes. They're like, "Oh, well, you can't say that."
It's not that big.
It's not gosh.
No, it's just more of a funny thing than anything.
I know now though what they do in like the MLB broadcast is they have a little box score, a bug that says no hitter through 6 because they know you can't say that.
We need one of those on Flow Sports, I believe.
As Miguel takes a strike. I think we have some effects. You know, we can work something in here.
Hold a piece of paper in front of the camera or something. That'd be
no hitter. I think it went to Miguel, who walked earlier. To Tapper to third, that will roll foul. So Wade trying to work a quick inning in the top of the 5th, get back his offense, and trying to get a run across here in game 1 of 3 with Leesburg. Tomorrow night we'll be at Pat Thomas Stadium in Leesburg, Florida, 7 o'clock first pitch. And then back here in Sanford, 6:30 on Saturday. 0-2 up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sanford, last time we played you guys back-to-back in Leesburg, which was fun.
Yeah, that first game was pretty close. Leesburg had a pretty good lead in that ball game, and Sanford came back. And second game, Connor Hijack hit that first pitch home run, and it was off and running. But
how about a 1-2-3 inning for Lance Wade? A fastball he fires down Broadway, and he strikes out Mangual looking. We go to the bottom half of the 5th. Sanford looking for any type of offense. They need some. More baseball on the Flow Sports Game of the Week. Bottom half of the fifth here from Sanford, Jonathan Mayer. And Carter Mansfield on the call with you. His new pitcher on the bump for the Leesburg Lightning. It'll be Clayton Borowski coming in for relief. And he comes in and replacing Danny Rodriguez, who was sensational tonight. As the 0-1 is on a grounder to third. Chapman backhands it across the first in time for out number 1. Rodriguez, 4 innings, no hits, no runs, and 4 strikeouts. He was great on the mound tonight.
Yeah, just electric stuff from Rodriguez. Just completely dominant. This is a really good Sanford offense, as we've talked about, but Rodriguez really embraced that starter role that he's not accustomed to, and absolutely had a phenomenal performance here tonight for Leesburg. But now, ball's turned over to Clayton Borowski, who's been really solid as well this season for the Lightning. A couple of bad outings, but his last couple starts, both against DeLand and Winter Garden, both very solid. But today he comes on out of the bullpen, which is another role that one of these Lightning pitchers is not accustomed to. So really a lot of development and changing of roles and testing out pitchers here from Coach Billings.
2 balls, 1 strike to Borowski. Last time pitched was against Winter Garden 6 days ago on June 23rd. Went 4 2/3, 3 earned runs allowed, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. There's a pitch on the corner. He fires in, 2-2. Now to Brady Woodburn at the dish, who walked in his first AB.
I know that last start against Winter Garden, I think it was like 3 solo home runs on their high school field over there. So
As Woodburn is out on a ground ball to second, 2 gone. I think Borowski comes in here, and I would probably expect him to go a little more longer relief, trying to kind of probably go the rest of the ball game, depending on how this one plays out.
yeah, and he's a guy that can do it. I mean, he's gone like you said in the last game 4 2/3, perched that 5-inning mark, and Rodriguez gave you a solid 4 there, and potentially Borowski could go another 3 or 4 here before you bring on a reliever to close it out.
Quickly 2 gone for righty batter McQuile. Holbrook comes in here and looks at a ball. 2 balls and no strikes to Holbrook. The extra hitter usually will be the catcher this year. 2-0, big, heavy fastball by Borowski to Holbrook, who lined right to left field to Micah New. 2-2 just off the end of the bat. It's fouled off the netting. Even cap to the newly River Rats. That's skied and popped up foul ground. Giving a look is Kate Saller, but it bounces off the clubhouse for the River Rats. And Holbrook stays in the box. Holbrook hit .217 with 2 doubles, 11 RBIs, and 21 starts with the Seminoles of Florida State. And he goes down looking. Nice first inning for Borowski. 1, 2, 3, another no-hit inning for Leesburg. We go to the top of the 6th. Lightning up 3-0 on the Flow Sports Game of the Week. Top of the 6th, Arturo Maza, the lefty, the southpaw, will make the appearance here in the 6th inning. A 3-0 lead for Leesburg. Maza on the year. That's ERA of 7.00, but last time out on June 15th, pitched 3 2/3, no hits, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and a walk issued. Did pitch against Winter Park last Saturday, but the line's not official just yet, as that ball game is still suspended right now. That will be resumed for further dates. As the 0-1 pitch is a grounder, and a nice slide by Puckett across the first in time as he gets Tyler Lejeune out, 5-3. Well, that was a great alignment right there for Sanford.
Yeah.
Puckett right there, kind of had it bounce and
Looked like he was playing a little shallow there, playing the bunt, but ended up putting him in the exact right spot as Lejeune didn't square around the second time.
Comes Gabriel Santiago. Fires a strike by Armaza. He is one of my favorite players that is not in a River Rats uniform. The way he plays the hustle, he's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, he's kind of just like a pure baseball player when you look at it. Doesn't hit for a lot of power, but almost always makes contact with the ball. Had that strikeout earlier in the ball game, but for the most part, that makes a ton of contact, like you see right there.
Yeah, they're right there. Just gets through, and a single for Santiago. Second hit of the night for the second baseman.
And like I said, once again, had to put money out. I think he's going to be standing on second here in a minute.
We're doing this again. Okay, I'll place my bet. Actually, no, I won't.
I mean, he's 18 for 18 on the season.
That's
so
true.
You get pretty good odds.
Yeah, usually, if he's going to be on base, he's going to steal.
Yeah. Well, when he goes,
Yeah.
There is a lefty on the mound here, though,
That's
so
true.
maybe a little bit more hesitant. That's a pretty nasty pickoff move from those lefty pitchers.
As Brindling squares the bunt, but Armaza fires outside part. 1-0 to Austin Brindling. Got the scoring started on an RBI single back up the middle. Came around in the first. Bunts it, drifting right, scooped up by Collins. Tries to tag Brindling, and he is safe. Just got around it.
I thought he tagged him.
I thought as well, and that was...
Looked like that's what knocked Brindling over is what I thought, but I think he was in there. I think the home plate umpire called him safe there. I think he overturned it. Was that what happened?
I saw the first base, with motion for an out, but...
And the home plate umpire has, has the final say with a call like that down the line on a tag, but he can override the field umpire on any kind of play like that just because he has a better angle at it, but I thought he was tagged from here.
Got around it, and now runners on first and second with one out. And the first pitch fastball fired to Michael Furry. Let's see what Leesburg can cook here. Very speedy guys as there's double steal going, and that one's fouled off. 0-2 to Michael Furry.
Santiago really frustrated over there. Thought he had number 19, but as you see, even with a crucial spot like this, they'll have these runners in motion. And I think that's why Coach Billings positioned all of his faster guys at the top of the lineup. You look at Lejeune and Santiago, Brindling, and Furry. Those are all guys that are going to have double-digit stolen bases this season, and just puts another element of pressure.
And so Maza takes the throw back as Santiago slides in. 0-2 to Michael Furry. 0 for 1 tonight. Knocked foul. And hits over the stadium. Take a look at the scoreboard across the Florida League tonight. The Atlanta Winter Park are out at Alphonse Stadium. Winter Park up 3-1 over the Suns.
They're starting to improve a little bit there. They started off pretty slow, but it seems like they're kind of finding their groove just a little bit more.
Another check back as to add the Snappers took down the Winter Garden Squeeze 8-7 today. Another score there.
think the Snappers might be my sleeper team in the league. For this
Did you hear about that game last Sunday? I think it was 13 innings.
Yeah. I think they're going to be one of the big sleeper teams. I know they have Dale Thomas coming in from Florida.
That's all the big news is Dale Thomas coming back to the team.
And I think that's once they get all their guys back, they're going to be tough as well.
Santiago to third, and he's safe. And now he's 19 for 19, and the betting man, Carter, continues again. That's another stolen base, another double steal now as Brinkley goes to second.
Yeah, like I said, this top of the lineup here is just another level of anything we see in this Florida league in terms of speed. And double steal right there, you saw it. Now the infield's going to come in, try to make a play on Santiago if ball's hit on the ground.
As the infield shifts in, grounded foul off the bat of Furry. Santiago's at third base, Brindling at second. Already a 3-0 lead for Leesburg. Trying to make some noise. They are playing some hot baseball, winners of 9 out of their last 10 games. Up high fastball on a full count pitch. Mazza trying to work the zone here. Pops. Foul grounds to Collins. He has room. Makes the catch. No tag by Santiago, and a really much-needed second out in the 6th.
Yeah, obviously a huge missed opportunity there for Leesburg, as now the dynamic completely changes with Brooks Bryan coming to the plate. You have to have a base hit right here or some way to get on base to drive in that run if you're Brooks Bryan, but all you had to do there is with Michael Furry. He's typically just a big contact hitter. Just had to put that ball on the ground. He did one of the only things you can't do in that situation, which is fly a ball out in the infield.
So now that brings up Brooks Bryan. They're not done yet. Trying to make some noise here. Power hitter and Bryan. Hitless today, 0 for 2. First pitch he sees. Taps it foul. 0-1 to Bryan. Tons of players for Leesburg were out in the beginning of the year because of regional play. We talked about Brooks Bryan included. Hayden Perry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Sanford.
He played a pretty good amount as well as a true freshman for Troy. Hit 217 in 60 at-bats.
This bounces off Cole Russo. Santiago scores. Here comes Brindling to throw in. Not in time. 2 more runs come across on a big wild pitch, and it's 5-0 at Leesburg.
Yeah, and that Leesburg team just showing just how fast they are there. Scores 2 on a pass ball. I mean, a pass ball is like a single into left field for this Leesburg team, especially a big backstops like you have at Leesburg and here at Sanford. Austin Brindling and Santiago just showing it off right there.
That was a big opportunity, and Leesburg took advantage of it. The bags are empty, and Bryan takes a strike there. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and all of a sudden, Leesburg getting more of a comfortable lead against Sanford right now.
Yeah, and those were 2 huge runs. I mean, 3 runs feels kind of manageable, but once you get to that 5 mark, it almost feels like you're in a giant hole.
1-2, sent to center field. Isaac moves a couple steps to his right, makes the catch, and that will be the inning. However, a wild pitch issued by Sanford brings home 2 runs for Leesburg. They're up 5-0 as you go to the bottom half, the 6th from Sanford. 5-0 lead for Leesburg tonight on a gorgeous Thursday evening. 5-0 lead. Still no hits for Sanford as Borowski back on the mound. Second inning of work. First pitch to Puckett is lifted high in the air to right center field. Will stay in this ballpark as Bringling, who works center, makes the catch. One pitch, one out to begin the sixth.
Maybe see a different approach here from the River Rats, as you saw right there. First pitch swinging. Haven't been super aggressive. Tried to maybe work the count a little bit, but trailing here, might need to adjust your approach just a little bit and possibly get some offense brewing.
One out. Here comes Clayton Hodges, who walked in his first plate appearance. Tonight, Leesburg has walked a total of 3 batters, all counting to Danny Rodriguez, who worked the first 4 innings. Really good.
Yeah, both Rodriguez and Borowski just been pounding the strike zone here. Almost over the midway point of the ball game, but both of them really good performances to this point.
Swung on, fouled by Hodges. Yeah, one thing I noticed, especially last time Sanford played this Leesburg team, they got swept, and it wasn't a great series for them, but the energy of this ball club is so much different. They look really, all together right now.
Yeah, and that Sanford series was part of a 5-game losing streak for the Lightning in the early part of the season. And the team was kind of down in the dumps, but I think maybe bringing on some new players and new energy is really, put some firepower into this offense, as well as giving the pitchers confidence on the mound, because that was the main thing. The offense wasn't rolling, which was causing the pitchers to kind of tighten up a little bit in close ball games. But, it's really been a huge turnaround for this Leesburg squad, both with the energy and on the field.
High chopper to third. Chapman quickly across to first, and he gets him out. That is a nice strike by Logan Chapman. Georgia Tech really excited to have this man coming fall of this year.
Yeah, we talked about the offense with Chapman, but you see it there. He's got a cannon for an arm and made some errors earlier in the season, but really been almost a sure thing over at third base for the Lightning as the season's gone along.
It's already 2 outs. Roski has fired in there, and here comes Cole Russo. 0 for 1 today. And there's ball number 1 from Borowski. Another North Florida product. 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1.
Yeah, a few guys from North Florida last season. Obviously, Bridling going to be at South Carolina, but Drew Leinenbach and Tyler Gertison both not in the lineup tonight.
That slash through the left side and a base hit for Cole Russo, and there's the no-hitter. It is gone. The placement there by the shortstop in Mangual. A little bit out of the reach, but a good piece of hitting off the bat of Russo.
Yeah, Russo, really a good job for the first 2 of the ball game for the River Rats. Took that one to the opposite side there, took the outside pitch, squeezed it right, past the almost surefire glove of Hector Mangual, but just better offense to beat that good defense.
So 2-out single for Russo. Here comes Jaquan Smith. First pitch, got a piece of that one. I think it went to Jaquan. Sorry, did I break the?
Yeah, it's all your fault.
I mean, well, unfortunately.
I mean, that was such a wasteful hit too. It could be to this point. He had all this time to get a hit, and 2 outs, and
it's always because it's always the one that comes around that now it's 1 out. 2 outs late in the 6th.
Yeah. Yeah. They could still come around and score a couple here. I mean, this Sanford offense has proven multiple times.
They score in bunches.
Yeah, and they get hot, they get hot.
As Smith sends one out to right field, but right there is Michael Fleury making the catch, and that will be the inning. Well, Sanford ends the no-hit bid, but the hit came with 2 outs, and that will end the inning. We'll go to the 7th inning. Leesburg are up 5-0. Good start of the road for the Welcome back. Top of the 7th from historic Sanford Memorial Stadium. Game 1 of 3 between the Lightning and the River Rats. Pleasure to have you all joining us on the Flow Sports Game of the Week. Jonathan Mayer alongside Carter Mansfield. And kind of recap quickly, really it's been the Leesburg show. There are 5 hits, but a lot of walks issued by Sanford, and they were taking advantage of the mistakes by Sanford on the pitching side tonight.
Yeah, definitely a lot of runs given to the Lightning to this point, but they've done a really good job of taking advantage, whether that be being aggressive on the base paths or hitting at opportune times. They've really found a way to create offense consistently. And on the mound, we talked about that, the no-hitter going to last inning, gave out that 2-out single, but been really phenomenal. Has Danny Rodriguez and Clayton Borowski on the mound for the Lightning. So really good performance on both sides so far for Leesburg, and going to want to continue to keep it rolling here as, Sanford, as we saw earlier in the season between these two teams, has the opportunity to come back at any given moment.
Logan Chapman takes ball number 1, but he'll slash one into right field for a lofted single. Back-to-back hits for Chapman go the other way. And a leadoff hit for the third baseman here in the 7th.
Yeah, 2 for 3 now for Logan Chapman. A couple RBIs on that earlier single, but up to really just been solid and progressing as this season's gone along.
That's going to bring up Kate Sadler now. Bouncer to third, Puckett. Second for 1, Woodburn to first for 2, and that is nice. 5 for 3 around the horn, and there's just like that, 2 outs in the 7th.
Yeah, exactly what you needed there if you're Sanford. You had the leadoff single, and they've proven to, with those leadoff base runners, to not being able to capitalize and get those guys out. But got a crucial double play right there to start the top of the inning.
So you need to just get some contact and outs. It's a quick one. Here comes Mike Anu with 2 outs and base is empty. That was the first pitch that's fired. Strike number 1. Gorgeous night. Last week a little bit tougher with all the rain around the area. I know Leesburg, a lot of the games were in, fortunately.
Yeah, and got a little lucky as well.
Ward quickly to first. Oh, what a play! Jaden Ward! The magician does it again. Jaden Ward. What a nice web gem. And he gets out new. It's a nice one. Quick inning to shut down the lineup, Leesburg lineup. We'll go to the bottom half, time of stretch at Sanford.
Hey, fans, thank you.
Bottom half, the 7th here from Sanford, and what a play by Jaden Moore to wrap that up.
Yeah, that was just a phenomenal athletic play off balance. Just threw it right in there.
As Isaac dumps one into center field for a single. Leadoff hit for Sanford. It's their second hit of the night.
And that could be a crucial thing for Sanford, as we talked about, only the second hit of the night so far for the River Rats, but the other one came with 2 outs there in the bottom of the inning. So first time they've had a real leadoff hit to start an inning. See if they can capitalize right here, and really good base runner and hijack.
Here comes Nelson Taylor. You're at the top of the order. Up high, fastball. Yeah, one thing though, that Ward play can maybe try to get some energy for this team. It's been a little lethargic. You can add early in the first couple innings, but right now, if you get a nice play there, get the base knock to begin the second, 7th inning, you never know. Work some magic here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, usually when you have a comeback like that, it takes a masterful play like Jaden Ward just had right there, and you got the leadoff hit by hijack, but and then really good hitter Nelson Taylor at the dish as well. So potential to really get this going for the River Rats here, bottom half of the 7th inning.
2 balls and no strikes to Nelson Taylor. 2-0 is a ripper into right field and a base hit for Nelson. Isaac turns the corner. He'll go to third base, and he slides in safely as Taylor goes to second. And Sanford, a little bit more energy. A piece of hitting for Taylor puts runner second and third with just nobody out here in the 7th.
Yeah, and there you go. That's what we were saying. You got to capitalize on that leadoff single if you're Sanford, and it looks like they, Nelson Taylor just did just that. And now you got your 3-0 hitter coming up to the plate, Nick Collins, who has potential to cut this back to a 3-run ball game. And I think Coach Billings is going to come out and talk here. Looks like Riley Fitzgerald up and moving in the Leesburg bullpen, but probably not going to go to him just yet.
As Rich Billings comes out to talk with Borowski, who was really, really solid those first 2 innings and now giving up the single and the double to Taylor. I think just wants to talk it over with him, kind of calm down a little bit, just kind of maybe tell him, just keep what you were doing in those first couple innings.
Yeah, and Borowski's a guy who pounds the strike zone, but that can be a good and a bad thing at times because it can allow you to get hit pretty good, especially when you have super talented hitters at the top of the lineup like Sanford does and Isaac and Nelson Taylor, but it's a big kind of risk-reward thing when you throw it. You got to hit the corners perfectly, I should say, there to get strike calls and get consistent outs. But, yeah, like you said, I think Coach Billings just coming out here to calm the nerves a little bit. You do have a 5-run buffer here, but don't want to let that get, brought down at all or let Sanford start to chip away at it because that's how comebacks happen.
And now you got the heart of the order up. You look at Nick Collins, Jaden Ward, Braden Woodburn. These guys are contact hitters. So if you're able to kind of, get station to station, that can do a whole lot of damage for the Sanford offense tonight. As Nick Collins gets set into the batter's box. But Borowski still on the mound as we do see Riley Fitzgerald warming up in the bullpen far left field for Leesburg. Taylor at second, Isaac at third. Collins at the plate. First pitch is lofted to left field. On the chase goes Mike Anu, but bouncing right to Riley Fitzgerald where he's warming up.
Fitzgerald a left fielder as well, so didn't freak him out too much out there, but big first strike there for Clayton Borowski.
I think the one at Collins, 0 for 1. Did walk in the first inning. Sails up high from Borowski. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nick Collins, his bat was just lethal against Leesburg in the first time these teams matched up. A home run against Leesburg at Pat Thomas Stadium, so has shown power against this ball club.
Yeah, just have that absolute bomb over the scoreboard out of Pat Thomas Stadium, but definitely a guy who can do a lot of damage with the bat in his hands and has a lot of power at the plate.
Fouled off again by Collins. 1-2 to the first baseman for Sanford. A ground ball up the middle and a base hit for Collins. Taylor is coming home to score. A 2-run single for Nick Collins. Sanford's finally on the board. It's 5-2 in the 7th.
Yeah, really good piece of hitting there by Collins. Just took it right back where it came from, knocked it up the middle. And now it makes it a little bit more of an interesting ball game here as you're back to having a runner on first with no outs, but now it's 5-2 instead of 5-0.
Do anything you can, put the ball in play, good things will happen. A good piece of hitting back up the middle for Collins. A base hit, and here comes Jaden Ward.
Yeah, a chance to really get the energy going like he did defensively. Has a chance to do it here offensively and keep the rally going for the River Rats to get back in this ball game.
Ward takes one outside and a ball. I don't know. I'm trying to find a nickname for him because he made some nice plays against Winter Park. I said Magician earlier. Do you have a good? I don't know. I'm trying to think of a nickname because he made some nice, flashy moves at shortstop this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think of Ozzie Smith, like Wizard of Oz. That's a pretty sick one. Obviously, that doesn't apply to Jaden Ward.
I feel like that's very it's very used. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, just because that went along with its name as well, so that's kind of specific.
Like a war, like a witch. I don't know, a magician. I don't know. I'm just trying to find something.
We'll work on it as the season goes along.
As Ward skies one out to shallow right, Santiago makes the catch, calls everybody off. As Ward is out on the pop-up. Kind of off into the bat. Very weak contact off the bat of Ward. One out though, and here comes Braden Woodburn. See what Woodburn can do here. Extend that bat. That one's gets away from Stubbs, trickles right off the fence of the Leesburg dugout, and Collins moves to second base.
Yeah, and that takes out the possibility of the double play right here, but still got to just keep remaining to be locked in if you're Clayton Borowski and get the runner in scoring position. Can't have any mistakes like that one.
1 ball, no strikes to Woodburn, who walked earlier. Takes a fastball. That's a nice pitch on the corner by Borowski.
Yeah, that's his strong suit when he's sitting on those corners with the fastball. Kind of left it over the plate a little bit here too much tonight, especially in this inning right here.
Pitch on its way. That's low. Nice take there by Woodburn. 2 balls and 1 strike to the Tampa transfer. Originally, first 2 years were at State College of Florida. Was a really good hitter. Over 300 for the Manatees. Pitch coming. Head out to right field and will hold in for Cruz.
He went to
Collins.
Must have thought there was 2 outs
Thought there was 2 outs, so a double play works for Leesburg once again. A little confusion by Nick Collins. However, Nick Collins adds in for the first 2 runs. A 2-run single cuts the deficit to 3. We'll go to the top half of the 8th, 5-2 lead for Leesburg. Top of the 8th inning, 5-2 lead for Leesburg. Drew Stebbs comes up with the bat here. 3-run lead for Leesburg. They were up 5-0 into the bottom half of the 7th, but 2 runs came across for Sanford. A 2-run single for Nick Collins has kind of closed this one a little bit closer. But if you're Leesburg, you want to add more insurance, and time is right now with Stubbs. Then you got the top of the order as well coming soon.
Yeah, not very many opportunities offensively for either one of these teams. Obviously, Sanford down to their final 6 outs, and if you are the River Rats, you want to get out of this unscathed in these last 2 innings. That's the only way you're going to have a chance to start chipping away, as they started the process last inning with those 2 runs to their first 2 of the ball game, but want to keep chipping away here.
1-1, little low. 2 balls and 1 strike to the catcher, Drew Stubbs. Is 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeout. And that one will hit him. It hits Stubbs. And he goes to first base with the hit by pitch. First time Stubbs is on base tonight. This will bring up Hector Mangual with a runner on the lead. And they're setting off in the 8th inning. One's in there for ball number 1. Carter, gonna ask you, how much fun have you had watching this resurgence of Leesburg, kind of as we get to the middle part of the season?
Yeah, it's been really fun, seeing these guys start to have some real energy and have a lot more fun just playing the game in general. I think that's been the key. During that 5-game losing streak, it was tough to, get up and go to the ballpark every day and watch that, because, it wasn't even close most of the time, and when it was close, they'd find every way they could to lose the game. But they've really, really turned it around here and shown they can be one of the better teams in this Florida league.
There's one on the ground, a third. Puckett has it on the backhand. Only play will go to first as Stubbs goes to second. 5-3 is the out. I would add one thing. I think when you got to think about with summer baseball, it's you're having fun. You can't make it too serious, because if you make it too serious, it's going to feel like a job. Summer baseball, you're here. There's no school. The only care in mind is just to play baseball. And I think when you have that approach where let's just have fun with your teammates, that creates a better mindset in the dugout. And it's shown for Leesburg, winners of 9 out of their last 10 ball games.
Yeah, and I think that's what Coach Billings was trying to instill into this Leesburg team, is that not to take it too seriously. Obviously, you want to go out there and you want to win ball games, but at the end of the day, you're there to develop as a player, and it obviously is a whole lot more fun when you're winning. But when you try to simplify it a little bit more, that's when it becomes easier, and you don't put as much pressure on yourself to go out there and make every mistake the biggest deal in the world.
Tyler June hits a grounder to second. Woodburn quickly tosses to first for the second out. So 2 gone. We're at the top of the order. And here comes Gabriel Santiago, who's had a really nice night. 2 for 3. And when he's been on base, he's been flying over the base paths. Now up to 19 stolen bases this year for the second baseman.
Yeah.
Now has a good RBI opportunity.
Yeah, and he can really put the bat on the ball. That's kind of his calling card, along with his speed. So a chance to do that, driving an RBI right here.
The first pitch, fastball from Armaza, 0-1 to Santiago. Gabriel hovering around 275. 8 RBIs, the junior out of Coker College. And it's a heavy fastball. He chases up high. I'm thinking 2 to Santiago. Already 5 runs, 6 hits for Leesburg. 2 runs and 4 hits for Sanford. To look to work something here in the bottom half. They can hold this game at a 3-run ball game. The 0-2 from Armaza. Down to the dirt, gets away, and that will freely score Stubbs from third, and it's 6-2.
You could tell Stubbs is not the most aggressive base runner on this team. Not definitely. At the catching position, you don't always look for speed, but he looked like he was confused there. Doesn't usually get to do that, I don't think. So ended up being able to walk in as the ball rolled all the way back to the deep backstop here at Sanford.
That was the most. I I couldn't notice if the ball was away. Just
Yeah.
this one poked out to second. Woodburn quickly flips to first, and that will be the inning. However, another one comes across on a pass ball as Leesburg is now up by 4 as we go to the bottom half of the 8th. Quick break. We'll be back in a matter of moments. This is the Flow Sports Game of the Week. Bottom half of the 8th, 6-2 lead for Leesburg. New pitcher on the mound is Riley Fitzgerald. Coming in to replace Borowski. Fitzgerald out and making overall his 6th appearance of the year. 15 innings, a 1.20 ERA. He's been really solid out of the pen for Leesburg this season.
Yeah, and he leads this Lightning squad in ERA, lowest ERA, I should say, out of, people who've pitched more than 1 inning so far this season. And 1.2 ERA over 15 innings pitched. Both of those runs came against Sanford earlier in the season, but he's just been a steady force. He's made 2 starts, and this will be his 6th appearance so far on the season. Just a guy that no real velocity on the bump, but places the ball really well and forces weak contact, and that's been the key for him so far. He's had an all-star caliber season so far this season for Leesburg.
1-2 to Holbrook is sliced into right field, and a leadoff single. McGuire Holbrook, his first hit as a River Rat.
Yeah, just took that the opposite way. Really good first hit there from Holbrook to open his Florida League career.
Leadoff single. Here comes Stuart Puckett. Lefty-lefty matchup. Puckett slashes one foul towards the left side.
Fitzgerald's typically one of the longer relievers when he's not starting, but looks like he's going to be more of a setup role here tonight. Grant Edwards, the closer, out in the bullpen warming up for the Lightning. Probably going to get the 9th inning, I'd say, or if they get into trouble right here, could possibly take a later part of the 8th.
0-2 now on Puckett. That was a nasty pitch by Fitzgerald. Got Puckett swinging. I can see the Stuart Puckett 0 for 2 tonight.
You see Fitzgerald doesn't even leave the mound. He works fast.
He's
ready to go the whole time. He's one of those guys who
doesn't mess around.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't take any time to, use the chalk or the rosin bag, anything like that. He doesn't. He's right on the mound, ready to go every time.
Fitzgerald checks back at first. The 0-2 offering. That one smacked out into right center field and will hold in for Furry. And Holbrook has to jet back to first base for the first out.
Yeah, you just see the speed in the outfield for Leesburg. We talk about it on the base pass, but it can be just as valuable in the outfield as you saw right there from Michael Furry. Just him and Brindling out there on the right side. It's tough to get anything in the gaps out there.
Good swing by Puckett, but holding in for Furry. Here comes Clayton Hodges. Gerald pickoff attempt there at first base. Hodges tonight still looking for a hit. 0 for 1, but has been on base once with a walk. Bouncer to short. Mengual flips it a second. Santiago to Vertu, and they get it. 6-4 through the double play, a big one as Fitzgerald keeps it scoreless in the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on base. We go to the top of the 9th inning. 6-2 lead for Leesburg here on Flow Sports. Well, we go to the 9th inning, 6-2 lead for Leesburg, up by 4 as new pitcher on the mound for Sanford. It'll be Kevin Hebert, the young righty coming in. He'll be making overall his 3rd appearance of the year. He's pitched a good amount in the past week. He pitched back last Monday against DeLand, then pitched against Winter Park on the 23rd. Now comes in to get some outs here in the 9th inning against this Leesburg lineup that has 6 runs across on 6 hits. Big thing has been the walks. Sanford, or rather it's 3 walks issued tonight, but really the wild pitches have been a big difference.
Yeah, and that's been 3 runs given up by Sanford on 2 outs in 2 separate situations. And without those, we'd be talking about a very different ball game. As both of those, the very next pitch, Sanford got out of the inning. So that's definitely been the story here tonight.
First pitch on the outside, Austin Brindling. Is that a ball? Brindling got everything kind of started, had that RBI single up the middle and the center in the 1st inning. Later out of hit. Later scored in the 6th inning on the pass ball. Hebert deals. This one's lifted out to right center field, and Woodbrook can't make the catch over the head. And it'll be a single for Brindling here in the beginning of the 9th.
just put it in the one place where Sanford couldn't catch it right there. You saw all three guys just crowded around in a circle, and it dropped right in between them. So tough play, tough break for Sanford, but Oscar Brindling just seems to find a way almost every time he's at the dish.
That's hit number 3 for Brindling on the night. Gonna bring up Michael Furry now. 0 for 2 today with the walk. Grounded to short. War for 1. Now to first for 2. Another double play. There's been a lot of those this evening. Taylor made. Just like that, 2 outs here in the ninth.
Yeah, good amount of double plays who in this ball game here tonight, but Austin Brindling got out at second there. Usually a guy that puts a little bit of pressure on the base pass for those fielders, but good play by Sanford there to get the first 2 outs here in the top of the ninth inning.
Two outs quickly, and there's a base hit through the right side for Brooks Bryan. First of the night for the catcher from Troy, and keeps the inning going.
Yeah, he's a big pull side hitter, as are most power hitters, but just really drove that one. A really hard ground ball there to right field, and he's been flaming hot ever since he joined the team after being with the Troy Trojans in their regional, the Tuscaloosa.
2-out single for Logan Chapman now, who comes up to the plate. On the corner, strike call from Bear. Yeah, now it's now with the College World Series ending, it's all it's just Summer League baseball, MLB baseball. So, kind of focusing on the things that we like. Do you have any favorite MLB teams?
I'm a big Braves guy.
Braves guy,
yeah,
ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good right now. We're living life, you know.
My Marlins actually saw the Red Sox today,
Yeah.
and are playing the Braves tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be a big series. I think the Braves are up 7 or 8 games at this point?
They're like the best.
Yeah, they're just killing everybody right now.
I mean, the Marlins though.
Did you see that? I don't know, the other day, it was like 5 home runs in the first 2 innings. And
Yeah, the Braves are
They're just a different level.
They're cream of the crop. And that one just gets past the diving attempt of Stuart Puckett into left, and another single over to Logan Chapman. 3-hit day for the Georgia Tech freshman.
And his approaches at the plate has just been crazy. I just haven't seen anything like it, just how young he is and the maturity that he's shown as the season's gone along. He's just going to be a really good player in the future. Looks like a pinch runner coming on for the Lightning here. Drew Leinenbach going to pinch run for Brooks Bryan. I believe Bryan was the extra hitter in the lineup, so no defensive adjustments needed.
Brings up Kate Sadler. It's been one of those nights where the contact has been really good for Leesburg. Chapman with 3 hits, Brindling with 3 hits, Santiago with 2 hits.
Yeah, it's been all the way up and down for this Leesburg lineup.
I think all of those 3 only have the hits for the team tonight as well. And they've been really big contributions, and guys that when you look at the lineup for Leesburg, they're the big hitters in the Leesburg lineup. When you look at what they can do production-wise.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of good situational hitting as well. Really opportune times has have the hits come around for Leesburg, and that's why you see the big difference here for these 2 teams on the offensive category. We talked about the wild pitches and stuff like that, but also some super opportune hits. I mean, you saw that 2 RBI single by Logan Chapman earlier in the game. That's also a difference. You know, we can sit here and blame it on the pass balls, stuff like that, like it was just handed to Leesburg, but they also have, had some pretty clutch hits and some pretty clutch spots here tonight.
Even count to Kate Sadler, still looking for a hit, 0 for 3 tonight. Big rip and a miss by a fastball by Bear. 1-2 now to Kate Sadler. Sanford will have bottom half of the order coming up. Trying to make some magic here, down by 4 runs. Bouncing in, Russo picks it up, and no avail throw to the base, and both runners will advance in the double steal.
Another mistake there, but chance to get out of it for Bear here. 2 strikes and 2 away.
Even counting out to Kate Sadler, playing first tonight from Northwest Florida State College. Hebert swings and misses. Down on strikes as Hebert pulls one over. No runs in the inning. Couple of hits, 2 left on base. We go to the final frame. Sanford trying to make some match at Leesburg, looking for another win to get win number 12 here in the Florida League. Do you like Kawhi Leonard? Was in for an extra. They say it's like all you need to see that. Edwards. Yeah, we added a couple new guys to the roster. That's probably a new pinch hitter. Yeah, I'd say so. Because Mercer's not, he's not. Yeah, but he's not playing. That's making a comeback. I know that we added a new player, Jackson Goldberg. I don't want to. I know we added a new player named Jackson Goldberg, but yeah, Nathan Blastic, either Blastic or Goldberg. So definitely, I'm gonna say Goldberg. Jackson Goldberg. Bottom half of the ninth, 3 outs away for Leesburg, trying to get win number 12 as Grant Edwards is on the mound looking to close this thing out. Caruso gets things going to begin the ninth. And a swing and a miss to the lefty batter.
Yeah, Edwards been phenomenal out of the pen this year for the Lightning. It's a 4 ERA, but giving up all 4 of those runs in one ball game against DeLand earlier in the season. But other than that, been a super steady hand through 3 innings of no-hit baseball. The other day, I guess it was Sunday, in the continuation of a game at DeLand, and closed that game out. So just really electric stuff on the mound and pounds the strike zone. Been a really steady hand for Leesburg this season.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Russo. Into the no-hit bid, but he strikes out swinging for the first out.
And right at him, you got that 4-run lead. You don't want to mess around and try to, just throw some nasty stuff in there. Edwards is going to come right at you, and that's exactly what he did right there.
Number 37, University of Tampa, Mercer.
We have a new pinch hitter. Wearing 37, not the uniform, but I suspect it's Jackson Goldberg, the new freshman. UCF. Recently added into the roster.
It's Jackson Goldberg from Overland Park, Kansas, UCF.
Nothing at 2 to Goldberg. It's Edwards. And that one's in there, strike 3. 3 quick pitches from Edwards, and there's 2 gone in the ninth.
Yeah, Edwards just mowing them down here in the ninth. It's 2 quick strikeouts, and right down the middle, they're out number 2. Going to come, like I said, right at these Sanford hitters with a lead.
You're 1 out away, and last man standing is Connor Hyzak. That was a first pitch ball. But overall, Leesburg tonight, the pitching was sensational. Obviously, you see 2 runs on that board as Hyzak chops it to third. Chapman to first, and the ball game is over. Leesburg comes to town to Sanford. It takes game number 1 of the series. The pitching was phenomenal. Rodriguez shoved. Edwards shoved. Fitzgerald was great, and Borowski was also great in the time. And also, big multi-hit efforts from Santiago, Chapman, and Bergling did the job as Leesburg gets win number 12 of the season.
Yeah, it was just a really solid performance on the mound for this Leesburg team. All 4 of those guys, as you mentioned, just really pounded the strike zone, didn't give up a lot of walks on the night, really forced contact, and only came back to bite them once in that 2-run 7th inning for Sanford. But, you know, that's kind of been the calling card, and what the Lightning have built this winning streak on is both, you know, producing offense without, you know, consistently hitting the ball, and really good pitching performances, pounding the strike zone and finding contact, and that's exactly what they did here tonight to take game 1 of this really crucial series in the standings in the Florida League against Sanford.
And one thing, though, Sanford now is 12-5. Leesburg will improve to 12-7. The big thing, though, is the losses. So as of now, Sanford is still in first place because they have less losses than Leesburg, but still a big difference and a big win for Sanford. For Leesburg, winning on the road from Sanford Memorial Stadium. That'll do for the broadcast. Sanford drops here tonight at home. Leesburg with the road victory, winning 6-2 here on a Thursday night. Game 2 is tomorrow from Pat Thomas Stadium from Leesburg. 7 o'clock first pitch will hit the air at 6:55 p.m. Leesburg trying to take the series. Sanford trying to tie it up tomorrow night. For Carl Mansfield, myself, Jonathan Mayer, and our great production team, have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you then. Thanks for joining us on Flow Sports.